So hello guys and welcome back to another video in our channel. Sorry for the delay. Uh we had some minor issues here with the setup, but I think now it's okay. If you're joining us, you can kindly like the video. You can kindly subscribe if you're new to this channel, and you can also comment on the audio and everything. You can say hello and where you're watching us from. And we are going to do a preview on the Chelsea versus Atalanta game. Sorry. We are going to do a preview on the Chelsea versus Atalanta game. And it's quite interesting. The lineups are quite out. And yeah, we are seeing some huge changes with when it comes to the selection. And here is the selection for the Champions League game. And the first selection is Robert Sanchez, who's starting in goal. So if you're joining us, I've repeated again, you can write a comment. You can say where you're watching us from. You can leave your opinion, your feedback with regards to the audio, the visuals, and everything. And this is a very huge game for Chelsea, as Chelsea will be traveling away to Atalanta. Chelsea have two games, and those two games can determine whether they qualify for the round of 16 of the Champions League. I know the month of December has not started quite well for Chelsea. No win so far this month, but Maresca has decided to go with this lineup. Sanchez in goal, Chalobah, Achimpong, Benoit, and Cucurella playing as that back four. Caicedo and Reece James playing as that pivot. Neto down the right, Fernandes down the 10, Gittens down the left wing, and Joao Pedro starting and leading the line. So it's quite an interesting lineup when you look at it. You can see that there is the return of Moises Caicedo in the team. I know a lot of people probably have had issues and questions with regards to Caicedo and his overall role in the team. And he has really been missed in the last Chelsea game. Chelsea have been unable to actually win the second balls. They have been unable to counter press effectively without Moises Caicedo. And Caicedo is back into this team. A huge omission in this lineup is Cole Palmer, who did not even travel with the team. Another omission is Estevao Williams. And another omission that we can also see the return of Facundo Bonanote into the lineup. We are also seeing a young player called Merrick is back into the lineup. Hato is back into the lineup. Andre Santos, Garnacho, Tyrick George, and McGew. So you can clearly see that the attacking depth is not quite as expected, as Chelsea are missing some key attackers. Enzo Fernandez is playing his fifth consecutive game where he has started for 90 minutes. That is a very huge call. Huge call for Maresca. Achimpong, a lot of fans had called for Achimpong to return. Achimpong is back into the starting lineup. And in this game in particular, we don't know how Chelsea are going to play. We really don't know, because Maresca is opting to use Benoit Badiashile as a left-sided centre-back to try and cover that area. And it will be very interesting to see the way Chelsea will be looking to attack. And I have also to look at the Atalanta lineup, because Atalanta have also gone to something that has really caused Chelsea problems recently. It's a system that has caused Chelsea a lot of problems. And what you can see is that Atalanta have decided to go with something that has actually limited the way Chelsea like to play. That is, they have decided to go with a 3-5-2. We do understand that Maresca has chosen not to start. He has chosen also to omit some crucial players into this team. I expected, since it's going to be a 3-5-2, that Maresca is going to try and mix some things up and try to go ultra attacking the way I went by having Estevao in that number 10, but clearly that was not in his plans. And also looking at the situation here is that you notice that there are key players for Atalanta who can pose huge problems for Chelsea. One of them is Lookman, and that's a player that Chelsea have really struggled with, also when he played for Fulham in the Premier League. But it's super refreshing to see Caicedo back into that lineup, because Caicedo is super crucial and super important when it comes to sitting into that midfield and looking to dictate the game from there. The benefit that Chelsea gained by having Caicedo in that midfield is that they're able to counter press much more effectively. They're able to progress the ball much more effectively. They're able to win the ball back much more effectively. The Atalanta game is super, super important for Chelsea because it will determine where Chelsea actually supposed to be. It's a game that Chelsea have to win. Chelsea have to win this game so that they can bolster their position as well as their fight to get to the Champions League round of 16. So when it comes to that lineup, I probably have questions. I cannot just because I do understand that Fofana had to be rested. I think even he's in the lineup. Is Wesley Fofana available in the lineup? Let me just do a quick check, because I do think that Maresca has not included Fofana in the lineup, and it's because of Fofana's injury record, and it's Maresca's task to actually try to manage Wesley Fofana. Yeah, Fofana is in the lineup, but he starts from the bench. Maresca is looking to try and conserve him. The question about Gusto actually got injured in that Arsenal game, and he has probably been playing through injury. So I do understand the slight rotation there. Also, a lot of fans had called for Josh Achimpong to start. So if the fans want Achimpong to start, Maresca gives them Achimpong to also start. One thing that I'm probably not I'm not so happy about with this lineup is that I have not seen Estevao. I was really angling for Estevao to start. I thought that because he did not get a lot of time in that Bournemouth game, I thought this was the game where Maresca would have bite the bullet and started him as a number 10. I think Estevao starting would be much better than having Fernandes start, because I think Fernandes has played a lot of games. He has played a lot of games, and you can even see the fatigue that Fernandes has had. So yeah, let me try to welcome Isaac. Isaac, how are you, and how are you doing? What's your expectation for this game? How are you?
Hi, Tyrone. I'm fine. Expectation regarding the game. Sorry. When I see our lineup, so the system remain the same, even if there is some rotation, but our system remain the same. But when I see the Atalanta lineup or how they set up the player, I think is the same plan which we face in Premier League with low block teams. We've build up with 3 defenders and push up most player in the
wing backs there.
The wings backs and So in defensive area there will be 5 back, and then you see that is the same plan we face in Premier League, and it's very difficult for us. So I'm just scaring that it can be a Leeds game or Bournemouth game, something like that.
Oh yeah. So but the question that I would really like to ask you, do you think that because of the return of Caicedo, Chelsea will be able to control the second balls much better compared to when they were missing a player like Caicedo? Because one thing that Caicedo has been good at for Chelsea is that he's able to hold that midfield by himself, freeing Chelsea to actually use more and more players in attack. Do you think that is the scenario that Chelsea can find themselves in today?
Caicedo is amongst the good player we have this season in our team. Actually, is an engine of our team. I know that he's a very important player. He's someone who doing very good things when we play. But from the last game against Bournemouth, I've discovered that Caicedo is even more than what we think. Is very, 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 very important. Let me tell you that against Bournemouth, we didn't have a midfielder that day. That's why I would prefer to see Santos as a sitter instead of James. So today I
Yeah,
know that our midfielder will be quite different comparing to our last game because of Caicedo. Then I don't know who is going to invert today, Kukurea or Achimpong. One of them, I believe it could be Achimpong inverting, and they can make a very, very solid block in the defense midfield.
Oh, so in your opinion, when you look at Chelsea with the ball, since you expect both wingers to start high and wide, and the way I know Maresca, so he might try to have Enzo in that position. Then he might try to push Rhys James here to have this link-up connection with Neto. Then have Achimpong come in midfield together with Caicedo,
Yes,
and then have
yes,
Benoit and Cucurella. And
yes.
yeah, I think this is a position where Benoit can play, because if he chooses to go this way, then I expect that Benoit is more mobile to distribute the ball from the central position than actually having Benoit starting in this wide channel and then having Cucurella push forward and then
Actually,
having
this is what I wanted to highlight. Also, this is what I wanted to highlight. You see,
yeah,
a good player we have in our team is Cucurella.
yeah,
We can leave Cucurella in back three, but
yeah,
make sure that Cucurella is someone who is reading the game. He
yeah,
might decide by himself when there is space to leave
yeah,
that back three and to overload again the attack line.
yeah.
Is able to do that. And in that case, we might have two defenders and two defensive midfielder to make a box.
Or even Caicedo can do it by himself. I always find Caicedo to be strong enough to handle it by himself, and that is one area that I think Chelsea have really lacked. I know that there's a lot of discussion of Chelsea going winless in the last 3 games. We faced Arsenal, we got a red card. We probably don't get a red card. We probably win that game. The Leeds game was a combination of the lack of Caicedo in that midfield, the lack of Caicedo's control in that midfield, the lack of Rhys James in that game, and then they're having that chaotic centre-back partnership of Tosin and Benoit, because even Fofana did not play that game. So I think the Leeds game is complemented with a lot of key players missing that game, and the players who came in actually did not step up. Then we go to the Bournemouth game. The attack was toothless. I believe that
Terrible.
the way Maresca had structured that midfield was not great. Having Enzo playing deeper and then having Gusto as your most advanced attacking player, it was bad, because Gusto, when it comes to receiving the ball in higher areas, he can't cross, he can't dribble, he can't attempt a shot. It's even better to have Enzo in that position, because Enzo is more likely to give you something different. But today, I expect Enzo to play in that number 10 position. I would be happy if Estevao started. That was my lineup. I wanted Estevao to start this game, because I thought that him not playing in that Bournemouth game and him being taken out in that Leeds game, I expected at least to see Estevao feature in this game. So
The
yeah,
case, the case of Estevao, sorry, you are right
yeah,
about that. But I'm seeing also Maresca having some headache to manage some the minute of the player. We
yeah.
have Neto who can play at the right and at the left. But these days, Neto is most performance is at the right side. That's
But I
why
think I think
he preferred
but
today
Neto
at the right side instead of the left side. So when he play Neto at the right side, now he have to sacrifice Estevao because Maresca prefer Estevao to play as a winger than a number 10.
Yeah, and before I introduce Christian, one thing that I can also say is that Neto has warranted starting because when you look at the numbers, he's the top scorer for Chelsea this season in the league, in the Champions League. He has been a difference maker for Chelsea this season. The way he makes those late runs in the box, I think that is one thing that gives him that faith, and also his work rate. When I compare Estevao on the pitch and Neto on the pitch, Neto is constantly running. He's constantly running back to help the defense, and he's also quite an outball when you are being pressed high. You always know that when you play a long ball towards the right, Neto is chasing after it. It's not something that we usually have when Estevao is on the pitch. So I think that is one thing. So Neto has been good. His numbers has been great this season. Yeah, Kamara. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. So Christian, how are you? And we lost each other in the first live, and we are back here. How are you? And what's your opinion on the game today?
First of all, as Mr. What's his name from Aston Villa says, first of all, good evening. And what is his name? I keep forgetting his name.
Unai.
Unai Emery. First of all, good evening. But yes, I've been listening to this debate backwards and forth, and I'll catch on the train of you were talking about Pedro Neto. Now, this guy, as you said, he's a bundle of energy. He's physicality. Don't underestimate this guy. Physically, very, very strong. I mean, defenders, they have a tough time trying to battle him compared to when he's on the right. You can see the big difference. When he's on the right, first of all, he stretches out the defense because of his speed. Two, when you actually reach him, his physicality is very hard to tackle. He will somehow get the cross in. So if you compare him to the young guy, Estevao, who's lightweight. This guy, he's very lightweight. He's actually quite easy to. They seem to be figuring out. Yes, they seem to have figured out the game plan, how to stop him, and you can see how the frustration's ebbed out. And I just don't think Estevao is ready to be a starter. I think he's best in the last 15, 20 minutes when the defenders are tired. That is when you see the best out of Estevao. But as a starter, I think it's a bit unfair on him. Give him a break. He's only 18. Let him mature. Let him find the rhythm. Let him wet his feet before you start throwing him in.
Let him grow some cojones.
That is your words, not mine. That's your words, not mine. No, he hasn't even started shaving. He hasn't even started shaving yet. So he doesn't even. If you give him Gillette Nasty, he doesn't know what is this for. And so he's very, very young. So let him
grow a bit.
Grow up, and then at 18, and I think this is the problem that because he's such a talent, because he's so extraordinary. He's done incredible things. So we sometimes forget. We think that he's finished product. He's 20, whatever. No, he's only 18, and he's still got room to improve. And don't throw him out to the wolves.
A lot of room.
Yes, and don't put so much pressure and expectation on him, because then you'll destroy him. Because at some point there, when things are not going well, like against Leeds, then frustration will get the better of him, and then you will probably slow down his development, and then you end up with like a Mohamed Salah situation where he suddenly gets sold to Atalanta or where Fiorentina or somewhere, and then he comes back for 3 years later to haunt us at another club. So please don't let that happen. Be patient with him and give him that time there. But as for the lineup today, I'm very worried. Not worried because of the game. No, Chelsea will be okay. But I'm just worried about some of these players playing too many games. Our key players. No rest. Enzo, I could take one of them. Cucurella, another one. They don't seem to be getting any rest. And I mean, Enzo's played. This is like 5 games in a row. If he plays the full 90 minutes, this is inhuman. This is almost like slavery. And he needs a rest. We can't afford to lose him. We lost Caicedo. Look how shit we are in the league. we had nobody. We had nothing without Caicedo on that team there. So with Enzo, if he was gone offensively, I know people, Chelsea fans love to hate Enzo, but as you know, I'm his biggest fan. I'll always defend him. He can do no wrong. And but it'd be interesting to see how the balance of this, because I look at Chalobah at right back. I'm not convinced. Achimpong, right centre back, along Badiashile.
Chalobah is not playing right back. I think Josh is playing right back. Yeah,
You
Josh
sure?
is playing right.
He's not a very good.
Josh.
He's not a very good right back.
Actually, Josh started his career as a right back. You see, when I compare Josh with Chalobah down the right, is that Josh has this trick. When you give Josh the ball, Josh is one player who can carry the ball. He's a very good ball carrier. That is one thing I always like about him. Him and Fofana are so good. When you give them the ball, they can carry the ball forward. And with Chalobah, if you give him the ball in this area, he will stand on the ball, look for a safe pass, even ask Neto to come for it, then pass it to him. Then Neto will be closed down, then he will pass it back to the goalkeeper. I think that is what Chalobah normally does in that position. But Achimpong is more adventurous with the ball. It's something that I've seen with him. He's very comfortable progressing the ball forward.
But would he be? But Achimpong is not like Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto, obviously they give him acres and acres of space because they don't believe in his end product. But Achimpong, is he one of those? Can he play that right back role where you bomb down the wing, where you cross the ball, or where you nowadays obviously as a right back you have to now even be able to invert? Can he do that, or is he just going to be a traditional right back Gary Neville style, where your primary objective is just to stand firm, to clear your balls and just play a long ball forward, but don't sort of like attack.
Bomb forward.
Don't bomb forward. Is he going to do that?
I think today he's going to be much more conservative. That's why I was telling Isaac, I think Cucurella will be the one who will move forward. But there's somebody who has put an interesting comment here. And it's a comment that relates very well with Isaac. I see the game is almost there. I think Isaac is probably just looking at the players. So this guy has said that Maresca needs to manage Pedro Neto by substituting him with Estevao early enough. But this will work well when Maresca starts a strong team and by the 60th minute we kill the game. So probably Maresca is even getting some clues from the fans. Because a lot of fans have been like, instead of starting a weak team and then having to make substitutions in the second half to try and win a game, why don't you just start a strong team earlier on, win the game, and then now you can bring in the other players? I think he's probably now listening to advice from Isaac, because Isaac is one person who always has that idea. You start strong, you win early, and then you can make that substitution. So I think that is the reason, because when you look at this lineup, it's clear. Everybody knows that Fernandes cannot play another 90 minutes. Neto can also not play another 90 minutes. Those two players need to be rotated, especially looking at our next game. And Caicedo being such a crucial player, but we are lucky because Caicedo has had like almost a week of rest. He has not been playing. He's just been training.
Tyrone, now the problem what Maresca have with the players. Okay, he can substitute Enzo. You know what he's going to do? He will bring on Gio to play as number 9. Then he make Joao Pedro as number 10. But Joao Pedro will not do the same work as Enzo. This is the problem we have in attack.
So what if when he substitutes Enzo and he brings on McGew, because McGew has that energy.
What about Joao Pedro in the role of number 10?
Yeah, I think there's one thing that you're pointing out that is clear. Also, one problem that we've had in those two games where we lost, did he start in the Leeds game as a number 10? Isaac, did Joao start as number 10 in that? Yeah, I think that is where the problem we usually get, because he's so lethargic when it comes to pressing. So it is when he's starting at that number 10 position, it's like Chelsea are playing with one less midfielder.
Yes.
Because the other midfielders have to step out and press for him, and that exposes the defense. I think Isaac is right.
Then we need a debate also on Joao Pedro. Where is the Joao Pedro we had at the Club World Cup? I don't understand what is happening to that player. He came as just 2 sessions of training with the new teammate, and he was like scoring then those goals. Like, I thought we had a new Haaland in our team, but in the Premier League, that guy, I don't understand what happened to him.
But he was actually quite. He was actually
at the Club World Cup. We thought that we got a new number 9. So now the debate is, oh no, he's not a number 9, he's a number 10. But when he plays as number 10, what I'm seeing from Joao Pedro is just losing the ball every time.
You see, one thing before Christian comes in, because Christian will address that quite well. Joao Pedro came from holiday. He came from holiday, and then he was playing quite well with Cole Palmer. I think even the number 9 position is the one that he plays most. He can play well, because as a number 9, you're not expected to press a lot. You're not expected to apply pressure a lot. Okay, you are, but he can get away with it if the midfielders are quite tight. But I also don't understand. How do you see it, Christian?
It's quite simple. I was not sold. I didn't subscribe from the day one. I said, no, this is.
Jackson.
I was obviously I'm pro Jackson, as you know, but the way I look at I looked at it, I think this guy. Other teams haven't seen this guy before. They've seen him, but not really seen him. If you know what I mean. He's been at Brighton, and as you know, Brighton is not in the limelight, and they don't get that much attention. So they didn't really know who he was, and they didn't know how to defend against him, how to play him. And this is the Premier League. Premier Neto, you can come as a new guy, 2-3 games. Enzo, Estevao included, and the other teams, they have scouts, they have doctors, they have physios, they have video analysis people, they have people like Iki who can do the XGs and BGs and MGs and what have you. They can look at any kind of stat data, what have you, which is how good are your toes, how good are your knees, everything. They'll analyze you, and they'll figure out a game plan from that data which they amass. So Joao Pedro, he's been found out, and to be fair to him, and I can't just keep attacking him, Maresca has played him in all kinds of positions, and he hasn't had Maresca at the beginning tried him as the centre forward at the top there. As we all know, that backfired badly, because he hasn't got the physicality, and he hasn't got that technique to play a proper centre forward. But he plays to the point of our friend Mr. Lingala. They were saying, when he plays together with Cole Palmer in that classic counter-attacking style there, that fast, where the defender's on the back foot, then he's good. But if we have to play the build-up play where Joao Pedro has to take part in the game, and it's a slow build-up, Joao Pedro is nowhere to be seen. And even worse, when we lose the ball, he becomes a passenger, and this is where we get overrun. So I don't know. And as you know, as a striker, when you go a long time without scoring, when things aren't going back well for you, it can only get worse. Mentally, it gets harder and harder to come out of that. He will come out of it at some point, but the longer he goes like this, where he's not really delivering, the more he's in and out of the team, the less likely he's going to find his form. So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation for him. So he has to, now that Delap is kaput, and another one, Mark Gui, I'm not convinced of that boy there. I know you guys all love him, but I'm not convinced. He's like a headless chicken. He doesn't really know what he's doing sometimes, and he's not with because you can see somebody hasn't really played with his teammates, so he doesn't really know where to run, how to run. But when he learns that, I think he'll be good. But he needs game time to figure out what he's supposed to do, how he's supposed to do it. Otherwise, yes, he can battle, he can fight, But that is not enough at this level. You need more than just battling, fighting. You need to be able to control the ball. You need to be able to lay the ball. You need to have vision to see where do I play the ball, who's running where, what lines is running, that kind of thing there. So that is again somebody who's, yes, in the Conference League, good on you. You're playing against Palmers and you're playing against Carpenters. That is that is one thing. But at elite level, APL, Champions League, my friend, that is completely a different cup of tea.
Yeah, and I do honestly agree with you with regards to that. But there's one person who said here that I think Joao Pedro during the World Cup game, his game was so great. It's because I think he was playing with Palma very well, and with Palma can be able to play those 1-2 touches with him. He can play him on side. There is that chemistry between him and Cole Palma. So with the return of Cole Palma, maybe we can see a different kind of Joao Pedro, because I do think there's a good player there. I still do think that he's a good player. It's just that as a striker, at certain points in the season, you always hit that deep in form. But also one thing I can say is that Joao Pedro does not have to also be Joao Pedro does not also have to be the traditional center forward who is able to lean back, hold the ball, win the ball, head the ball, like Haaland or probably like Romelu Lukaku or like Gyökeres. He can also reinvent his game and play like Aguero or like Gabriel Jesus. Both of them was
no. Like the guy with Liverpool. Who was that guy in Liverpool? That centre forward.
Firmino.
Yes, Firmino. Yeah. Like Firmino. Yeah. You should go and study Firmino. He could be excellent Firmino.
Yeah, he can be like Firmino. Then what can happen is that he can now play in that slightly withdrawn number 9 position that Thomas Tuchel used to call a 9.5. You are a 9, you are a 10, you are a 9.5, you're in between there. So when it is regarded for you to actually attack the box, you attack the box first. When it comes to actually dropping deep, actually he can be an asset. He can nail that number 9 position in a way that he plays like a half 9. He drops deep, he drags defenders out of position, he allows players like Fernandes to make runs after he has dragged defenders out. Let me just show you a clear illustration of that probably here. I think that might be quite better for our viewers. So just a minute. Let me just do this quick before the game comes. So probably when he plays in this position, he can be that player who probably drops into this position to receive the ball. Then once he receives the ball, he pulls the defender out. Then a player can make that run, and then that ball can be played in this position. I saw Sarri attempting something like this with Higuain, Gonzalo Higuain, when he came to Chelsea. Sarri attempted this structure with him. So I think he can reinvent himself. Even Aguero wasn't that tall. He wasn't that physical, but Aguero knew how to move. So I think that is one thing. So we can get your closing remarks, because I think the game is ready and Isaac wants to go and watch the game.
Don't worry, I'm watching from here. I will not move anymore. You see, I like the way we discuss before this game, and you can notice that we have many points to discuss or to debate. We discuss about Joao Pedro, but I think there is something also to say on Cole Palma. The question I can ask you, are you sure Cole Palma, is he improving? Is he come in his best level? There is something to say about that.
But one thing I can say is that the last time I saw Cole Palma at his best was during the Club World Cup. He played well. He played well. And this season, one thing I can say about Cole Palma this season is that he's not been himself this season. He has been riddled with injury. Even the Manchester United game, he started after 10 minutes, he was out. Even the West Ham game when we won 5-1 against West Ham, what happened? He started that game, then after a few minutes, he was withdrawn.
They say Joao Pedro might be good when he play with Cole Palma.
So
what level are we expecting to get back Cole Palma so Joao Pedro can be good. You see, there is other things which Christian said about McGill, that we like him, we are his fan. No, the thing is, we have Joao Pedro, we have Delap. So we saw that with Delap, nothing is moving on. So we can rely only on what we have. And on my opinion, I think that Gil is better than Delap. We don't say that Delap Gil is a top striker. No.
So I think
to discuss, but I think next time we can discuss more about
because but I think because the game will probably end later, both of you will be going to bed. So Christian, you can bid us farewell.
No. I'm okay. I've just been listening to Mr. Lingara there. I always like to listen to you guys. Talking in very high IQ people. So
thank you very much. We are learning a lot from each other. I think that is what I can say.
Anyway, good luck with the game. I hope it's going to be successful. No therapy needed.
Give us your prediction before you go.
Yeah, I don't do predictions. And you want to throw me under, you think I'm Mo Salah, you want to throw me under the bus. Allah, what's wrong with you? And you're not going to throw me under. I'm too fucking smart for that. Never give predictions or something which I'm not convinced with. But I want to see Kittens do well. I want to see him do well. But we'll see. But I think they should win this game. They're playing in the white uniform. I like the white uniform. It's the best one. Wow, very nice. So.
Okay, thank you, Christian. Thank you, Isaac. And let's hope for the win.